What's up, guys? It's Tasis and Wolf, and we're here in the round of 4 of the GSL Code S. How you doing, man?
I am doing great. We're going to have 2 finalists decided today and on Friday. We're going to find out who's going to the GSL finals this week.
It is a best of 7. Now, there was a little bit of a schedule change.
Yeah.
Sue is actually going to DreamHack, I believe, either very late tonight or very, very early tomorrow morning. So we're going to be doing Zest versus Sue.
Yeah.
First, initially it was going to be Zest against Sue on Friday, but due to that schedule conflict, we're going to move it to today now. So the TVT will be on Friday. Just
make sure the players, we can accommodate them, get them going to their foreign events as well. But fear not, Terran versus Terran still happening on Friday. Really excited for that one. Going to be good. See if Kura's brushed up his TVT a little bit.
And today is going to be so sick, Wolf.
It definitely is.
This could easily have been our finals. We got Zest against Sue. Sue has been in more GSLs than should be possible for any mortal.
Right.
He's been in every GSL finals this year.
Yes.
And
one of which against Zest.
Yes, one of which against Zest. This is a rematch. At the same time, Zest is looking like the best player in the world. By the way, on that note with Sue, he hasn't won a GSL Code S yet. He's just getting to the finals.
Right, and this kind of has been a bad luck trend for him, almost Marine King-esque, getting to the finals every time and losing. So hopefully for him, his luck could change this season. He's made it all the way to the round of 4 now. Is one win away from going to that finals again, and he's hoping to actually take it all this time.
I would say right now Zest's the better player, but it's pretty insane when you consider that Sue has been to so many finals in a row. I mean, that's almost in a way more impressive than winning a GSL alone.
Yeah.
So no matter who wins here with these 2 players, Zest goes on. Obviously, it's going to continue on with this narrative of Zest being, at least currently looking like the best player in the world. A very good shot at winning the whole finals. If Sue wins this, that's an insane number of finals that he's been in a row. That will probably never be done in StarCraft history. I don't care if StarCraft III, StarCraft IV come out.
Yeah. This does not happen. It's unspeakable, really. Zest has got so much confidence right now. He's coming off of a win in the Kespa Cup. He played incredibly well against Rain in the round of 8 as well. Crushed him in that PvP series, making it look easy. Of course, we have our TVT listed here as well. Cure versus Innovation will be happening on Friday, so tell your friends about that. But get focused, get hyped for this PVZ. Highest PVZ you're going to see, possibly for the rest of this year, man. It's looking like it's going to be a sick best of 7. It's a best of 7, not a best of 5, too.
Yeah, that's important to note. Also, oh, hold on. Watch this, guys.
안녕하세요.
All right, it's time for the interview now between Zest and Sue here in day 1 of the semifinals.
대망의 결승전에 진출할 선수가 오늘 무대에서 한 분이 탄생을 하는데요. 이제 옆에 계신 두 분, GSL 시즌 1 결승전과 글로벌 토너먼트 4강 이후 6개월 만에 만났습니다. 전 누가 떨어져도 참 아쉬운 두 분이죠. 오늘 어윤수 선수와 주성 선수
So it's been 6 months since these players have faced off.
안녕하세요.
안녕하세요. They say hello to both of them.
자, 두 분이 참 오랜만에 만나셨습니다. 사실 이 지난 8강전에서 두 분 다 컨디션이 안 좋으셨는데 오늘은 어떠세요?
So when we had the round of 8, both of you guys were not in the best condition. How are you feeling tonight?
좋진 않아가지고.
Yeah, I was feeling a little bit sick. But you know what? I actually feel better today.
빨리 끝내고 가고 싶다.
And I want to finish today quickly.
그때 안 좋다고 하셨는데 오늘은 괜찮으세요?
So you weren't feeling that good before. How are you feeling today?
졸려가지고 빨리 끝내고 싶어요.
그렇군요.
I feel better today. But I'm actually a little bit sleepy tonight. I want to finish this series quickly as well.
서로 요즘은 원탑이라고 불리고 있는데
A lot of people said this is a battle between 2 kings. What are your thoughts?
성적을 제일 잘 내고 계시니까 저분들 중에서 그런 것 같아요.
네.
I think Sue's
어윤수 선수는 어떠세요?
been getting good results amongst Zerg players, so that's probably why they're saying that.
네.
And what do you think, Sue? He says, yeah, I agree.
답변이 짧으시네요. 자, 오늘 이렇게 그만큼 4강전
That's a
얼마나
really short
긴장하고
answer.
계신지 견제하고 계신지 느낌이 오는데요.
She says I can feel the tension between these two players now.
선수는 이때까지 프로토스전 위주로 해왔기 때문에 연습할 시간이 조금
So
부족했을
Zest,
것 같습니다. 저그전 대비 어렵지
mostly in PvP
않으셨나요?
matches.
그래서
Do you feel like you've had enough time to prepare for a PvZ?
저그전만 했어요. 다른
그렇겠죠.
경력전은 안 하고.
You know, the last 2 or 3
그래가지고
days, I actually practiced
또 많이
ZVP, PvZ, excuse me.
괜찮아요.
아무래도 결승에서 이긴
So I think my skills have improved. I think I'm in good shape.
근데 뭐 원수 선수랑 할 때는 좋은 기억만 있어가지고 자신은 넘쳐요.
It says I only have good memories when I play against Sue, so I'm actually more than confident.
매치를 치르게 됐는데요. 어윤수 선수 오늘 그런데 생일이잖아요.
So Sue, it's your birthday. Happy
네,
birthday.
생일 진심으로 축하드립니다.
감사합니다.
네, 오늘 팬분들도
he
참
says
많이
thank you.
오셨는데 팬들께 말씀 한마디 해주셔야
So
할 것 같아요.
there are a lot of fans here to celebrate your birthday. Do you have anything to say to them?
솔직히 딱히 원래 생일 잘 챙기지 않는데 저 대신 챙겨주셔서 되게
You know, I don't even
감사하고
feel like it's my birthday,
부모님이
actually.
되게 좋아하실 것 같아요.
네.
But I really
저
appreciate
앞에
people who've come down
케이크와
here.
함께
Oh, look, it's a
맛있는
cake.
음식들,
What a
그리고
cake.
또
Oh, let's go get that cake on the break.
음식들까지
Nice.
이렇게
So we
포장을
have
예쁘게
a cake
해서
there for Sue.
오셨는데
Happy
자,
birthday to him.
팬들과
Happy birthday.
오늘 또 파티를 재밌게 하려면 또 좋은 성적 있어야겠죠. 오늘 자신 있으세요?
일단 준비는
So I think in order to have a
잘했고
great birthday, you're going to have great results. Are you feeling confident?
자신은 있는데 워낙 잘하셔가지고 좀
네.
질 것
But
같기도
it is
한데
Zest. Says it, I am confident, but it is
자신은
Zest.
있으니까
He's a tough
최선을
opponent. It's going to be
다할
tough for me to predict the
네.
exact results, but I'm going to do
하필이면
my best to win.
상대방이 생일이어서 조금은 난감하실 것도 같아요. 조금 신경 쓰이세요?
일단 생일
You're in a bit of an
축하드리고,
awkward position, Zest. It's his birthday.
네,
Don't you have to
전
show him
그런
some
거
mercy?
신경 하나도 안 써요.
He says, well, happy birthday,
저는
Sue.
말씀이 이렇게 다르신가요?
But this is
자,
esports.
오늘 이 두 분의 경기 결과에 많은 분들이 주목하고 있습니다. 자, 서로에게 한마디씩 아시죠? 그냥 한마디씩 하고 시작을 해볼까요?
So we got a lot of
먼저
fans tuning
주성
in
선수
tonight.
먼저 들어볼게요.
Any final words to each other before we start this match?
뭐 지금까지 충분히 잘하셨으니까 이번에는 좀
Sue, so far you've been a
여기까지만
great
했으면
player.
좋겠어요.
네, 여기까지만
And
하셨으면
tonight is gonna be the end of that.
말씀하셨는데요. 답해 주시죠.
And your answer to that, Sue?
잘하고 계신데 잘할
Zest,
때가
I know
가장
recently you
위험할
played
때거든요.
amazingly,
그래서
but
긴장하셔야 될 것 같아요.
네,
those are the most dangerous moments.
네, 오늘
Moments like
이렇게
these are the most
긴장감이
dangerous
팽팽한
moments. You need to be ready
가운데
for
이
me.
두 분이 매치를 치릅니다. 이 두 분의 이 성적
That does it for the
보고
interview, guys.
들어가겠습니다.
Let's go ahead and take a closer look at the information for these two players.
All right, so let's take a look at this. Zest, he's been called the Kingslayer in Korea. He's second right now in WCS points. He has an insanely good record in matches. He's 18-4. And look at the players he's beaten down there, beating players like Sulky in the round of 16 Cure, being Sulky again, beating Rain with an incredible victory there, 3-0. Only losing to Cure, and he lost to Rain earlier, but Zest, my favorite, my pick to win this today.
I got to agree with you, Wolf. I think it's going to be very close. I think it should be 4-3 or 4-2, but I would have to say it should go to Zest, simply because Zest is doing so well. But don't count Sue out.
Yeah.
I feel like I've spent most of this year doubting Sue moving on, especially in phases like this part of the tournament, the round of 4, saying, well, he was in the finals, but the fact of the matter is these other guys quite good.
Yeah.
Perhaps they'll beat him. I've been saying that for so long. Maybe I'm going to be eating my words here today again, predicting Sue to not move on against Zest. It's tough though. Zest is so sick.
Yeah, Sue had a cleaner run through the round of 32 and the round of 16, getting in first place both times. And taking a 3-1 victory over Stats, not a bad win there. And Stats is pretty good at PvZ, so it's good for him as well that he had to prepare for the same matchup twice for the round of 8. Something that Zest had to switch his preparation. He said in his interview he's feeling really good about playing PvZ right now. He has been preparing for quite some time, but you can't ignore that Sue's been practicing for the same matchup twice in a row.
Here is our map lineup. Nimbus, Deadwing, Overgrowth, Catalina, King Sejong Station, Merry-Go-Round, and Foxtrot Labs.
How do you feel about this this map set going into this? Do you feel it favors one of these two players? Do you feel it's kind of even with this order here? Because
we do have some of the weirder maps like Foxtrot Labs here in the back.
Yeah.
I would still say this is good for Zest. I think Nimbus is not a bad map for him to start out on.
Yeah.
I think Deadwing certainly not a bad map for Sue though. Overgrowth, we'll have to see. You know, the problem is these guys are basically the best in their respective races. But yeah, definitely seen Foxtrot Labs in the back. I would assume if Zest has a strong start, he should be closing this out. He's managed to dodge that map. That map's made for some very weird games.
Yeah, I feel bad for Sue because Merry-Go-Round and Sejong are at the back of the map pool as well.
That's very true.
Those are the maps I'd be wanting to play against
King Sejong Station is, at this point in time, it's a seasoned map.
Yeah.
We've had it for quite a while. Here's our first player. It's Zest.
He's so handsome. We've been calling him the Chisel Toss in Pro League because he's just
Chisel
so
Toss.
handsome.
Yeah, he's a pretty sharp-looking dude.
He really is. He's got a lot of charisma too. I feel like if you play against this guy, you get scared.
Yeah, he's like a Code-S human being. This guy is pretty impressive. He's articulate. He's sharp-looking. He is unbelievably good at StarCraft, and he's very confident. I don't know how much you guys can feel it when you see him interviewed, but I mean, he's very, and we're talking about against a player who's also incredibly confident, Sue, but Zest is really an impressive, intimidating individual.
Right. Now look at his results versus Zerg even in WCS. He's only lost to True, and that was back when True was doing really well in Season 2. And that's the only loss he's taken in a best-of series versus Zerg in WCS this year. That's pretty impressive. It's looking pretty good for him in this matchup.
And, you know, the one loss to True, that should not be too much of a shocker. True's got a very different play style from the rest of the Zergs that we had here in Code-S.
Yeah.
Here's his opponent, though. It's Sue. Now, Sue has been in 3 Code-S finals now. Today, he could be very well in his 4th, which is very difficult to wrap your mind around. You know, it's so rare to have somebody in a finals twice in a row. Only people like Nesty do that.
Yeah.
Or have done
MVP,
that.
you know.
Yeah.
Those are the legends, the greats. Players aren't even in the GS anymore, but you remember them because they were able to do that. Sue will be remembered forever, no matter what happens here today, because of how consistent he's been in the GSL. Let's take a closer look at his stats. A little bit rougher. 7-3. He did lose to Classic twice and also lost to Zest himself. Of course, that was in Season 1. This is a repeat of that finals.
Yeah, it's where history is repeating itself again here. We have, as you can see, Sue losing to Classic. That was the finals. Or excuse me, that was actually that was once in the finals. Then he lost once in a round of 16. But Classic, of course, you know, a teammate.
Right.
So let's factor that in as well. Against people that are off his team, I mean, who has this guy lost to besides Zest? And I don't think there's anybody who hard counters Sue here, even Zest for that matter.
That's true.
Sue also, I would say, the most perfected Zerg style we've seen to date. A little while back it was Sulky. Now I think Sue's refined that even more so.
We completely agree.
And by the way, Sue, you do not get to this many GSL finals unless you are very good in a long series.
Yeah, you can't get this far off of cheeses and early game progression alone.
You can't just pull the rug out from under your opponent, you know, in 1 or 2 games and eke out of a group. So this is going to be very interesting. I'm super excited to see these 2 guys face off. Map 1, excuse me, is going to be on Nimbus.
That it is, Tasteless. This is going to be a good one.
It's going to set the pace here. How are these guys going to open up? Obviously, a lot of different builds are going to have to be used here. The map order was preset, so I'm also sitting here asking myself, when are they going to cheese? When are we going to see some, you know, proxies, anything weird like that? And I guess we're going to find out starting now here with Game 1 between Zest and Sue. In the upper right, hands down, the best Protoss in the world.
KT roster Zest.
So handsome, so scary.
We know this for sure now that Rain has been slayed.
He's slain him 3-0.
Mm-hmm.
Big fan here. And
now down here to the bottom right in the orange.
SK Telecom T1 Sue.
Breaking all records here for the number of times in a row in a GSL finals. And he might move the bar up yet again here.
Yeah, he's getting poised to do that.
And I will say this, if he gets to a finals again, and that happens here tonight, I don't know when in StarCraft history we are ever going to see this again.
Yeah, this
just does not happen, guys. You're in the most competitive esports city, country in the world. All the best players are right here, cramped together. It is unheard of to get to this many finals.
And even if you are like the best player in the world, with how many good players you have to face, and the format that we have here, you're most likely going to make a mistake eventually, and not make it to the finals.
And sometimes you get a bad beat.
Or you're an off day or something.
Yeah, off day, or somebody just blind counters you. There is obviously when StarCraft you got a lot of mechanics, a lot of strategy, but sometimes it is just trying to predict your opponent's build and countering that. And speaking of builds, we do have the Nexus going down first here. Meanwhile, the pool is just now finishing up here for Sue. And we have Zest probe just surveying the area, trying to check and see how many lings are going to hatch and if any additional structures are going to be made.
Yeah, he ended up going pool first, playing a little bit safer. I suppose, if on a 4-player map like this, if you don't scout what the opponent's doing, if he goes for Forge first and you go hatch first blindly, you might be out of luck, you might get cannon rushed. So just playing it safe, and I feel like that's important in this series. I feel like Sue's the type of player who really benefits a lot from winning the first set because Zest is such a scary opponent. You don't want to give him that momentum. You don't want to give him that first win, especially because we don't have map picks. Like you talked about earlier, it's predetermined. So I think that first set, that momentum that you get is so important. And since Zest is the favorite here, I feel like a safe game for Sue is the right game to play in game number 1.
You also got to keep in mind in a best of 7, there is it's tricky because the player, your opposing player is going to be surveying how you're playing and starting to adjust to that. So you're going to have a wide range of builds, especially when it's a potential 7-game series.
Yeah.
We've seen, for instance, in best of 3s, almost always a cheese occurs in one of those games.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially early on in the tournament, not so much as I'd say like round of 32, more so than round of 16. But here, how many games do you cheese versus how many games do you play standard? Plus, let's say that Zest goes for Stargate, excuse me. How many times does he go Oracle over Phoenix?
Yeah, you have to keep all these things in mind, and when the maps are predetermined, it's a little bit harder to predict when a cheese is going to come at you. Whereas if it's loser pick, sometimes as the defending player of a cheese, you might think, oh, he picked a 2-player map. Maybe he's going to 2-barracks proxy me or something like that. I've got to really keep an eye on that. Whereas in the series where the maps are already predetermined, you might think, well, it's Overgrowth now, for example, or just any other 2-player map. I got to be careful, keep on my guard. But it's a lot harder to predict, I feel.
Now look at this. Wolf, we got Stargate coming down here. Right by that Nexus. 2 more gases now going up, so that's going to be 4 gases total for Protoss.
Yes.
Now,
comes that Overlord.
There's always the chance this is going to be an Oracle build. I love seeing Zest when he uses his Oracles, but Phoenixes have not been unpopular this season.
Yeah. They're making a bit of a comeback.
Now, to keep in mind here, with these positions, I think an Oracle would be slightly better, but we'll see. Zest is really he's the barometer for what's actually the best doing this map, so we'll see. But
keep in mind the Overlord's here, so whatever he chooses is going to be known to Sue right away.
Yeah, no surprises. Excuse me, he's going to go for Phoenixes. Okay, cool. Let's see how this goes. He can definitely wipe out these Overlords over here. There's not just this one in here in the main, but actually one a little bit south of the second base, and then to the left, another one. So he can start to clean up this map. Now, there's other tech routes he could pick from here. We do see more gates coming down. Will he just push out gradually and take a 3rd base, or is he going to try to gate up harder and do some kind of timing attack?
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. I feel like the Phoenix choice may have been based on the fact that he got such a fast Overlord scout in there, because like you were saying, Oracles are pretty good.
Well, I was just thinking the Oracle could get down there to that bottom right base, start to hit some workers pretty quickly, and then come around. But I guess let's see what exactly he wants to do.
He starts a Robo and 2 gates, just playing it safe. His +1 is on the way, and he's just scouting around now with his first Phoenix. We'll join up with a second. He's looking for that 3rd Overlord up there, and he's just barely not going to find it.
Yeah, did that Mothership Core not graze by that Overlord? Looks like he didn't, or if he did see it, he's just saving that for later on. Okay, so the robotics facility is about to finish here. Yeah. 3 Phoenixes out.
Sue, good clean coverage here. Not taking any losses really just yet, minus those Overlords. Yeah, and it's got the spores up, too.
Sue's actually tucking these Overlords down here to the bottom left. There's a chance that Zest will never end up going down there. He wants to be aggressive here with the Phoenixes. We have a robotic support bay coming down here now for the Colossus tech.
Look at how safe Su is playing here, too. He puts 2 spores in every base, plus the queens. It's going to be a lot of spore hits you're going to take if you want to commit to harassing the drones. You can see he almost lost a Phoenix there. And Su is playing this first game super safe. I like that a lot against Zest's style especially.
Now there are some links coming up here to check where the third would be, and it looks like the third is going to be planted by. There's not going to be any 2-base timing. The Nexus just now starts, as well as armor now that the weapons upgrade is done.
Trying to find an angle here with these Phoenixes, just not able to do it. Yeah, that's a good timing for this Nexus. He's got enough gateway units out there now with the Mothership Core to ward off those Lings. Now he will actually see this Spire if he goes just a bit further, as well as the Infestation Pit.
All right, let's see if he actually goes by that. We'll have to do a vision check. Okay, so he's going to know exactly what's going on now. This is some great scouting, not just harass here from Zest.
Yeah.
And we'll see exactly how he opts to counter this. We have the gate wall coming down now, along with the cannon. Colossi being pumped out steadily. And we have the Twilight Council coming down here now. So this is going to be pretty sweet, Wolf. We're going to have a very textbook PvZ late game here.
Yeah,
nobody did anything crazier. The Phoenix tech was just a harass. He wasn't trying to cover for some kind of weird timing. Protoss took a third base at a very reasonable time. Yeah. Actually, a pretty conservative time, I'd even say. And Su now just taking the fourth after he's confirmed that, okay, in fact, Zest is going to take a third. So it's time for me, as a Zerg player, to just stay ahead 1 base.
We have a pretty quick pathogen glands upgrade coming out here, so we're going to see some quick infestors coming out 4 right off the bat here. So he's going to be able to lock these Phoenixes down pretty well with those. And if Zest makes a control mistake, he might be able to pick those off like this. Does end up losing one of those. Nice targeting on the weakened Phoenix there.
That was that one that took a bunch of hits really early on.
Yeah.
There was one that was at like 5 HP or something.
I'm really curious to see how much this Warp Prism gets done, because Zest is known, especially in PvP, for doing really great Warp Prism harass.
Well, you also got to keep in mind, if he's going to do harass on this map, he'd probably have to do it to that back base for Zerg. There's not a lot of locations that you can really harass at other than that location back there behind the minerals. Or then again, he might just have the Warp Prism.
Warp on ground next to the 4th, you mean?
He could. I would feel like Zerg could get over there and defend that. I guess he could go from the 4th and back to that backdoor base too, and just try to keep Zerg busy. But this seems like something Su should be able to handle. We do have 3 more gates about to finish up. Blink halfway done, as well as a +2 attack halfway done. And I think Su is, and Zest actually for that matter, are both just going to continue to play safe, upgrade. And by the way, hold on, we actually now have a greater Spire Wolf.
And an Ultralisk Cavern, so he's keeping his options open here. He's got all of his tech right in one easily scouted spot here by this Observer. But
I think in a stage of the game like this, if you kill the initial Protoss timing attack, it's going to be like a late game timing.
Yeah.
Then you can start switching unit tech,
Sure.
Go for Spire units. When he starts to counter that, then switch into Ling Ultra. And we actually have Zest completing the tech tree here for a Protoss ground now by getting the Dark Shrine.
Yeah,
I should say for the air as well, the Fleet Beacon here too. So we're going into endgame tech here.
Yeah, both these players have just accepted the fact that this is going to be a slow mid-game here. No big timings. Great harass here on this 5th base. He's able to force a cancel on that. He's got those ults. He can just lift them up and do more harassment. When that Dark Shrine's done too, that Warp Prism is going to become all the more valuable.
Wolfie.
Tasteless.
Take a look at how many ultras are making now. 6.
6 of them.
For a second, I was going to say, is he banking for a bunch of Spire units to come out here? Is he going to go for some like really weird timing with it? But apparently not. He's going to just go ahead and get these ultras out here now.
And that's so scary for Zest because he's seen all the tech and he doesn't know what the bank is going to be used for.
Well, what I like about it is he didn't have to make those units right away. And, I got to say, that was probably not... Well, actually, I guess in late game tech, I guess he can delay. If he keeps some of the Zealots, I guess he delays the ultras being made as quickly or the... Spire units being made as quickly. But I do like back there how actually Su's banked a lot of money and then checked Protoss again to decide, okay, what exactly am I going to make here?
Right. He's being very patient. And notice that Zest kind of does a catch-all again here. He makes 2 Immortals at a time. He's getting the Tempest out as well. Slowly but steadily adding another Stargate just in case. But he still doesn't know yet what Su is actually making. He fails to kill this base this time and actually might lose this Warp Prism. DT barely gets out.
Oh my God!
He might save
just
that
barely
too.
Gets away. Zerg has to keep the 5th base down here because it's not even about the minerals; it's about the gas down there. When you have the Greater Spire and you have Ultra Tech, you need gas.
Absolutely.
So badly that 4 bases is just not enough. You want to be able to switch techs as much as humanly possible. So I think we have. Where did that DT go? Did that DT actually get shut down there?
I think he's attacking.
Is that actually
base.
down at the
Yeah, I think he is.
I believe that's down at the 5th base. We'll have to see. Either that or he parked it by the minerals so he can kill drones.
I think he's swiping it. Oh, yeah,
okay, he parked it there. All right, that's what's going on.
That's smart. Because he
there's no way he's going to kill the hatch, and so this is basically your best bet. And Sue, of course, being a good player, immediately responds.
Yeah, it brings his whole army out, actually.
Sometimes you can have games where there's a DT there for so long before the Zerg identifies it. And so now he knows that since he saw the drones pulled, he says, all right, I might as well try to damage this hatch.
So,
and
I mean,
are these overseers going to get down here?
Yeah, well, he's got an investor. Barely doesn't get that hatch, but at this point, he needs that gas so much, and he's got it so far. If that had died, that would have been really important because when you lose an army that's this expensive, you need, 1,500 gas, you need 2,000 gas to remake it. How many ultras does he have? I think he's got like 8 ultras right now. And those immortals he's been cranking out, Zest has, are going to be really important. He needs to make sure they can hit.
I think after the initial engagement, there's a strong chance Zest might switch into. Sue might switch into mass air here.
Yeah.
Do we know how many Stargates does Protoss have?
I think he has 2.
He has 2?
I think he added just the second one. And is now getting +1 and the Phoenix range because he's scared of a possible Muta switch.
Okay, this is really exciting. These guys both going for, like, supreme endgame tech.
Yeah.
The tech tree is done. Tempests are going to keep the creep pushed back now.
And look at this really cool thing that Zest has set up here. He set up a gateway wall, actually. So if an engagement starts to, he thinks it's not going to go his way, he can actually pull behind those gates and use that as a wall against the melee units.
Something important to note is that it's not going to be easy for Zest to secure the 4th base here.
Yeah.
Let's see. Is he just going to push out here and get this? By the way, actually, Sue taking a lot of damage here. They have 1 base with creep on it. The top center base there is going to be the one that Protoss is going to try to get. I think with a gateway wall. That's his best chance of actually securing it. But again, as far as options go for Zest, he doesn't really have many.
No, I agree. He needs
especially
that base.
Beyond that, let's say he takes a 5th base here. I would have to be the one that has creep on it. Meanwhile, Zerg has the bottom left side of the map to just keep sucking up resources from.
Now, a lot of these hits from these Tempests have come. Hold that thought. We're going to have a big engagement here. He's just going to go for it, dropping down multiple Foam Growths on this army. But this is still a lot of Immortals back there. I'm not sure if he can break through.
Oh, my God. Well, we have all those Ultras just getting obliterated.
He's got a ton of gas, 3,000 gas.
It's 187 supply to 118. Now, let's take a check at the production here.
Yeah, what's he going to make?
What does Sue make? That's the big
question.
He hasn't
decided yet. He's still got 3,000 gas. Okay, just made about 1,500 of that into something. We don't know yet. Okay, 8 more Ultras.
Okay, so he's going Ling Ultra again here.
He killed a lot of those Immortals, so I don't think it's a bad choice.
Snap decision here from Zest to just immediately come in here. I do question a little bit actually running up the ramp like that, though.
Yeah, he just kind of went for it. Almost like, YOLO, just drop those fungals down.
Yeah,
but still, I mean, these Ultras are going to be hit pretty hard. There's only 2 Immortals here.
By the way, he can actually, this ramp gets clogged up pretty nicely, so that Protoss can actually dish out a lot of additional damage.
Yeah, good angle here on the side. Even that Mothership coming in.
Is Zest just going to do this? He's just going to take this base out?
Well, there's a ton of Ultras, but they're popping out one by one.
Yeah, that's the problem, is they're very slowly popping out. In fact, it wouldn't even be a bad idea to put a few Stalkers right there blocking that ramp.
Yeah. Look at this. So he's just going to get him picked off right away.
And now we almost see some bad rallying right now.
Yeah.
Did Zest actually just close this out? Let's see. He did take out that base.
Now we got 6 Ultras on the map.
We only have 2 Overseers here, though. So is he just going to shoot these down?
Snipes them down. Yep. And then that's it. There's no more detection here. Mothership isn't blocking everything, but the Stalkers in the front are invisible, so he can't hit.
Few more Overseers are coming up now. Okay, he needs to get rid of this.
Just recalls.
Oh, that was pretty nasty, man. Wow, okay. Well, nicely done by Zest. He actually pushed through there. He took out that base on the low ground.
So key points here now are Zest has a 4th base. 5th base is up for Sue, but he lost his 3rd. So it's 4 base versus 4 base. Protoss is now able to build a pretty solid army. He needs a little bit more gas, though.
Did you notice how many DTs he made there? Okay, he's going straight into Archon Immortal here. He wants to directly counter those Ultras. I was wondering for a second if Sue had done some kind of counterattack there, he would have brought all of his Overseers and he was going to run the DTs around there to the that bottom left pocket base there for Sue.
Would have been a smart choice.
But he's not. He's going to go straight into Archons. So he just wants to completely counter an Ultra counterattack, although Sue actually being pretty passive. He just stays back.
Knows he's got an income problem in minerals right now. He's only got 53 harvesters, and not all of his bases are fully saturated. He lost a lot of drones on that last fight, so that's going to cost him here. You know, gas is what you really want as Zerg, but if you don't have minerals to spend it with, that becomes a problem. He's even got an Oracle here to harass a little bit.
This is annoying. So he just tags that. Yeah, the minerals here for Sue are going up way too slowly.
Yeah, he needs, you know...
If you look at it compared to Zest, if you guys just watch, they're in the upper right side of the screens, Zest is going to match out much quicker here. And I think the Oracle, by the way, super smart move for Zest because he can fly around, he can tag the army.
Yeah.
If Protoss, look at this. Defensively, Protoss is definitely favored here, especially with the gateway wall. If he just tags the army, how on earth is Sue going to win a battle?
Yeah, he can't take a really good favorable engagement, and beyond that, if the army is tagged and he's close to
he can't drop with that stuff.
Yeah, and if he's close to the army, then Zest could start taking pot shots with his Tempest, even if he's got vision of it, you know. On that high ground over there, he's going to get some shots off for sure, and that starts to add up on these, you know, big expensive units. Run by ill-fated here. Not a lot of things there, only 27 on the map right now. These infestors have not really been all too useful, actually, you know, for Sue so far this game. He tried to make it work when he ran up that ramp, but I feel the ramp itself was a bigger problem.
I mean, the problem is when you have the mothership core out here, you need to, first of all, see the army and then hold it into place.
Yeah.
Okay, so DTs are going to be sent out here. This is not a bad idea here for Zest. We've seen Protosses do this for a long time when it gets, like, really, 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 really late. Don't take the next closest base, tuck one up there in the main, and basically pollute the ramp with cannons so that Zerg can't easily get up there.
Yeah, it looks like it might even put a DT to block the ramp so that units can't pass through without detection, and then there'll be cannons behind it. So that's a pretty cool move. Now, 26 meters on the way. He does have Phoenix range.
Dude, there's so many Immortals out. I think this Muta switch is going to be really good. Plus, okay, wait, Zerg spots that expansion in the upper left, by the way. The Mutas can easily get over there and take out that base.
He doesn't know about it yet. He's not making any more Phoenixes. He's still getting +2. There are those DTs, but there's an Overseer. It looks like he should be able to hold around with all those cannons.
That's like if a maxed out army of Lings would not get in that, dude. We have Mutas coming in now, and let's see if there's any important tech there at that back base.
Well, Stargates, where are they? You know, that's really important right now because
they're in the main. Okay, so he can get the Fleet Beacon. He can also get the Dark Shrine if he wants.
He needs Phoenix's ASAP right now. He does have the range upgrade for them. He did get that earlier, you know, just very carefully. And now he's going to try to force these Mutas back by moving out into the middle of the map a little bit. I like this choice.
Oh, man, he's actually just going to keep the Mutas here in the main. I think the Muta number is so big that it's pretty tough for Zest to really wipe out quickly.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, the attack is going to continue to come down here. Ooh, Sue might have to watch those Mutas a little bit more carefully here.
Yeah, even warping in some Stalkers here. He's got to be careful. He's looking at something else right now, it looks like.
Whoa. Okay, we have an attack over here at this base.
Yeah, this is a big, heavy-hitting army.
That was 26 Mutas earlier. It's down to 16, but I don't see much ground defense right now that Sue can use to take out Zest's army. Keep in mind there were, there's 11 Immortals now. I mean, if you have this many Mutas, or had them early on, because he was nearly maxed out earlier, and if you had that many Mutas, you definitely don't have much in ground.
That's true.
So the Ultras can't engage 11 Immortals.
Yeah, if you have 11 Immortals, almost any number of Ultralists is not going to cut it for a fight. You know, you need those Mutas to come back maybe somehow. And he's a bit indecisive. His Mutas are trying to catch reinforcements right now, but this base goes down, and with 11 Immortals also kill hatcheries pretty much instantly as well. There's no sort of stack defense that can help you. And here come those Mutas now. He wants to take these Tempests out from behind.
You know
Force
what?
the recall.
I think actually Zest is just too good. Let's look at the aftermath of this. Zerg is back onto 3 bases, 2 of which are mined out, and 1 is very, very, very low on resources.
Zest has his base to the top left. He's picking off Overseers with his Phoenixes right now. There's no more harassment army on the ground, or rather in the air. That the Phoenixes can't shut down. You can actually just take this engagement. Zest can, straight up. These Ultras not want to fight off creep against this many Immortals. No way. All right, this is a good choice. Send the Mutas back here. Try to draw his army back again. He might catch this base, but this base isn't really that important anymore. It's already mined out.
He's just trying to draw fire there. And look at this. The Phoenixes are just going to start to shave off Muta by Muta. Meanwhile, Zest is going to come down here to this base. I think that this is almost it for
Sue.
I mean, I
almost got the checkpoint or checkmate.
Excuse me. So many immortals. I just don't even know what on earth really that Sue could do. Sue will always be outmaneuvered by the Phoenixes with his mutas. I mean, he's basically Zest can just do this endlessly.
Yeah, and he's got the money to keep making more Phoenixes.
Now we have an attack up here at the front, filling up the gateway wall. Now, so this is a bit of a base trade scenario. However, there's a lot more base for Zest to just give up right now.
Killing the base at the top left is almost impossible too, you know?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely true, Wolf. I suppose if the mutas could somehow win the Phoenix fight and then go all the way to the upper left and take out the Nexus, but it doesn't matter. Zest wins game number 1. Now, let's look back on that game. Nobody did anything fancy early on.
Yeah.
That was their standard PVZ safe build where they're waiting to see if the player's going to do anything cheesy. They don't. They just tech up. We saw Protoss getting into Tempest, getting into the Mothership core. We saw Zerg with the dual tech of Ultra and Greater Spire. And although they both played well, Zest clearly had a better grasp of the end game of that matchup.
Yeah, and it looks like he wanted to get there. And this is really scary for Sue because Sue's also a very late game oriented player, and if Zest is just going toe-to-toe with him and just outmaneuvering him and being one step ahead of him constantly, I mean, the biggest thing that Sue could have done to win that game was exactly what he did do, was the Mutalisk switch, but Zest was already ready. Already had basically +2 weapons done for his Phoenixes. He had range. He got that way a long time ago just in case this happened, and he was ready for this. He had the Stargates in place as well in a good spot, not where they could be picked off, far away where the Mutas had to fly all the way into the main. He was ready, and this is going to be a bit disheartening for Sue going into this best of 7. I have to say.
I mean, think about this. What is going on in Sue's mind right now? Both those players were clearly confident enough that they didn't think they needed to open up with any weird, cheesy builds. You know, we saw MVP a lot of times open up, back in the Wings of Liberty days, open up with a crazy cheese in game 1, or close out the last game, like game 7 or game 5 with a cheese. Interestingly enough, both these guys so confident, they did very standard builds. But Zest certainly outshined Sue there.
Yeah.
I do think the big mistake of that last game was actually when Sue attacked into that 4th base. There was a bit of panic going on there.
Yeah, you just kind of went for it without really...
going up that ramp and not even have everything together.